another piece that we developed together as a site-specific piece. We were invited by the BBC Big Screens to come to develop a piece for the Glastonbury Festival. And we knew, you probably have all heard of the Glastonbury Festival, so we knew it was kind of well known for being, it's a massive festival in the UK. It was one of the first ones, and it's kind of known for its revelry and drugs and alcohol and everything else. So we knew that we wanted to create an otherworldly space with this piece, and a very playful piece. So immediately, very, very quickly, the idea came to us of producing a picnic for Glastonbury, because what do you do? You go and eat. You live in a field, you camp in a field for a few days, listen to music, having picnics. And we thought it was the perfect kind of venue for something like this, particularly because of the blue screening. It's a perfect kind of situation whereby we could just lay down these two screens on the floor, and people would be able to join on screen.
I can show the video, and there's two videos, and the second part shows the augmented animations that you developed as well. Yeah. So that's, you want to talk about that before I show
I'll just say one of the things about this was that it would be simple if Glastonbury was a place that always had good weather. So on the very first day, you'll see, I don't actually know from the video if that's obvious in the video, but on the very first day that we were there, the grass was very green, but by the second day, there was quite deep mud already. So we had some kind of logistical situations with our blue screen mats, which cost £300 each. We ended up actually just using blue tarpaulins, because we'd happened to bring them with us because we were kind of concerned about the weather. And they worked really well, probably better than the blue screens.
Do you want to explain
we
that?
also were asked to develop this again for Moves 10 Festival at the Blue Coats in Liverpool, which is kind of quite an English country house. So we kind of came up with more of an English country house kind of a scenario. We wanted to, this time, create a backdrop. You can see that it's actually laid out behind the table. So on screen, on camera, that actually looks as if it's a three-dimensional scene behind the people. And it's kind of using topiary, like hedges and things, so that you didn't have to worry too much about perspective. I don't know if I'm talking a bit, am I talking a bit fast?
I've got a short video, and I apologise for the sort of sales pitchness of it. I don't know quite, it seems to have, because we were talking about it was actually for another purpose. So anyway, there's a short video here that shows you the sound quality up and down as well. So apologies.
Picnic on the Screen brings together current interactive ludic interface work that Charlotte Gould has been developing with Paul Sermon's established practice and research into telepresence environments. Their collaborative partnership has resulted in an interactive ludic interface that has been site-specifically developed for the Glastonbury Festival.
That is very clever.
Is that what you expect to find here at Glastonbury?
No. But then again, well, it's my first time at Glastonbury, so...
This work explores the creative potential of the Glastonbury audience as participants or performers that have the capacity to create playful, improvised narrative sequences through an urban public video screen as a communications bridge. Through the augmentation of the virtual and the real, users can explore alternative telepresence spaces and develop unique, playful narrative events.
Very good concept because it brings families together, it brings everyone together, so it's, in a way it's...
No, you talking crap.
It's absolutely fabulous.
First thing I thought was that's really brilliant.
It's just so unreal.
I'm still trying to work it out in a minute.
Well, it's just using blue screening.
I was talking to someone and I wasn't.
Well, you talking maybe we was having a cup of tea.
They was the other one.
It's really cool. I don't understand it, like how it works, but
It wasn't just like one mat, it was a load of people getting bunched together and there's loads of little dots of people everywhere. So you could have someone behind someone on the mat and then someone in front. I just liked it, it was strange.
Following the success of Picnic on the Street,
Just say that
Glastonbury Festival,
we were thinking very much that
Paul Sermon
people who
were
go
invited
to this
develop
festival
a new version
want to
of
just
this
want to
interactive
perform
video
because they want to have a good time.
the Moves 10
Play
Media
and-
Arts
and
Festival at
dress
venues
up
across Liverpool
and
from
all sorts
April
of things.
to
So that was very much the driver behind it, that we knew that's the kind of audience we were. And this is the
And
second.
yeah, I should actually mention as well, there were 7 artists that were asked to develop pieces for the Glastonbury Festival. And another part of the idea was that we would keep on developing it whilst we were there. So we started playing around with sets and props as well. So you saw they had some cardboard cups and saucers. The development on from that is this piece, and we were using tags,
Just broken the microphone.
augmented reality tags, so that this time people could actually play with the animations and control the animations. They had to be quite big, as you can see, downside of this technology, because their cameras had to be quite a long way away. Actually, partly because the building itself was a listed building and they weren't allowed to put the camera anywhere very near to them anywhere. So the other thing we haven't talked about is big screens in the UK. They've put 22 up across the country, and it was for the Cultural Olympiad in 2012. And part of the idea is that very often those video screens are used for news and advertising and sport, but they're wanting to commission artists to be more interactive with the screens, to involve audiences, to involve, allow audiences to be creative and communities to engage with each other on these public screens.
Should I show the piece from Shanghai? We then took that piece as part of the Liverpool Biennial. We were asked to take part in a project, again, together with an artist, Peter Appleton, who we've worked with on a previous occasion. And we linked this piece between the Blue Coat Gallery in Liverpool and the University of Shanghai. And we did it over video conferencing, over long distance, and which was a complex thing to do, not only from the point of view of the distance and the telecommunications involved, but just the logistics of the time zones and the cultural sort of differences and all the other aspects of this piece. So it's quite a challenge getting the equipment into China as well. That was a challenge. but so it was basically a video conference connection between these two spaces. So this is a video we shot at the University of Shanghai, and you'll see that the augmented objects are being placed by participants in Liverpool and participants in Shanghai. And we tried to create use sort of iconic symbols from the two cities to merge these places together. So the title of the project was called Shangpool, and it tried to bring these two kind of communities and cultures together to play through these augmented interfaces. And we did it for it lasted one evening in Shanghai and one morning in Liverpool. So that's sort of time zones we were working with.
So also each time we're having to work with the parameters that we're faced with, in that we had to fly with our kit, so we just use a very simple